Hello everyone, this is Dr. Pooja Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Management, the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. Today we will be discussing a very interesting and relevant topic on modern techniques of communication. Let us take a quick look at the learning outcomes of today's session. We will be understanding the concept of modern techniques of communication, cellular phones, Skype, Twitter, instant messaging, fax, the advantages, email, process, advantages, limitations, and video conferencing advantages. So first let's understand the concept of modern communication technologies. Modern communication technologies have the potential to bypass several stages and sequences in the process of development. Popular ones are computers, teleconferencing, audio-video conferencing, etc. It helps in processing of information, handling of correspondence, and in preparation of documents. Modern technology has enabled the creation of a myriad of new communication tools, sites, and software. Likewise, improvements and additions are constantly being made to existing devices to maintain the highest quality of communication possible. There are many types of communication available. The choice depends on where you are, how much time you have, and how much you prefer to pay. Now let me apprise you here that for all the students who are living in rural areas and remote corners of our country and have not been exposed to these techniques, I will be explaining step by step. So kindly pay attention. Cellular phones. The capabilities of cell phones have continued to increase since their introduction in the late 1980s. In addition to basic text messaging and wireless phone conversations, many cell phones enable their users to send and receive mails, pictures, and recorded videos. Bluetooth technology has further increased the communicative value of cell phones, allowing the talkers to carry on their conversation hands-free with the use of a small one-sided headset. Next is Skype. Skype is a downloadable software that enables the users to make free phone calls and send messages via the internet. The service also offers video phone calling, allowing the users to watch each other in real time while they speak. Use of Skype's free features requires a broadband internet connection, as does its paid features. Both businesses and private individuals have benefited from the convenience and immediacy of Skype's communication tools. Number 3 is instant messaging. Instant messaging enables the users to communicate with each other on internet via short written messages delivered almost immediately after the content is created. Instant messaging is a less cumbersome form of email as well as a faster form of facilitating complete conversations in real time. MSN, Yahoo, Facebook, and America Online are a few of the services that offer messaging tools and programs for their use. Next is Twitter. You all are aware about it. Twitter is a popular social network similar to Facebook, but without extraneous information or elaborate weblogs. Twitter is a popular social networking site created in 2008. While the concept is not unlike similar social sites such as MySpace and Facebook, Twitter is unique in that users can write or tweet messages from either their computer or cell phone in short, concise updates as often as they please. The concept of Twitter revolves around the idea that people can stay updated on the events of others' lives without spending a lot of time sifting through extraneous information or more elaborate weblogs. Another perk is the fact that Twitter is completely free and requires no special software. Next is facsimile or fax. Fax is a telephone connection and fax machine is attached to it. It is basically a process of electronic transmission of written information. In the fax transmission system, there are two separate fax machines, one at the sender's end and the other one at the receiver's end. Just as the conventional telephone carries voice, a fax or facsimile machine carries printed messages. The sender of a fax message prepares the copy on a sheet, generally maybe a A4 size, which can be fed into the fax machine. He dials the destination number, gets the fax tone and feeds the message into the machine. The printed message is converted into electronic signals as the paper rolls through the fax machine. This message is received in the same form at the other end of the paper roll that's attached to the machine. Charts, graphs, visuals cannot be sent through telex, but these can be sent through fax. So what are the advantages of a fax machine? Easy to communicate, simple operation, quick communication, no distortions, secrecy of the message. An introduction to digital faxing is a boon to the businesses. Digital fax services are the replacement for fax machines that your business needs. Designed for the modern workplace, digital fax ticks all the necessary boxes when it comes to functionality and practicality. So, a quick recap. We commenced with the concept of modern techniques of communication, throwing light on cell phones, Skype, Twitter, internet and fax. Hope you are enjoying the learning, so let's move ahead. Another type of very effective modern technique of communication is email. You all, I'm sure, have your own email IDs. Internet and email. Internet is an international computer network that links computers from sectors such as government agencies, business houses, educational institutions and individuals. It receives information, stores it and allows it to be read on satisfying certain conditions. Internet service providers, or as they are called ISPs, allow one to create the email ID free, hoping to recover the cost through the ads to which the user is exposed during the use of email. Email stands for electronic mail, which is sent via one computer to another. A typical email address reads like abcde@xyz.com. Some other internet service providers are BSNL, Yahoo, Hotmail and Gmail. Note that the use of only lowercase alphabets in email IDs. Every time the user wants to send the messages or check the incoming mail, he can reach his ID by typing a password, which makes the mail account very private. Now, what are the advantages of email? Email is by far the cheapest and the fastest means of sending printed information. At one click of the button, hundreds of pages of information can be sent to hundreds of email IDs worldwide. No paper is required. Messages can be created directly on the computer and added on from different computer files, CDs, etc. This facility is now available in many regional languages of India. It is informal and allows the sender to remain anonymous, since he can use any name as his email ID. For instance, J.K. Singh, he can use Udan Khatola as his email. Next, organizations and publishing houses take cognizance of messages coming via email. Newspapers and magazines print letters that come via email. As long as you carry your password with you, you can open your email account on any computer in the world which has this facility. You remain unencumbered even with a mobile handset. You can just enter an internet cafe, pay the rent, use the email. Email is extraordinarily portable. You can have an address book in your email account, record the incoming mails and edit them and so on. When you reply to an email message, the sender's message is automatically sent back to him for ready reference. As human need and imagination guide, more innovations are possible. Email can enable an ongoing electronic conference. People across the globe can meet on internet and confer on a topic of common interest. The receiver need not respond at once as on the telephone, but can take his own time. Emailing helps to avoid a direct interface. In an organization, a subordinate may quickly and directly reach a superior on email. Email makes an organization more democratic. Now, there are some disadvantages also to emails. Email, because of the potential anonymity, remains an informal channel of communication. Excess use and flooding of unwanted messages is a major drawback of the system. Unless one takes care to block unwanted ads, one finds one's inbox full of offers which may be doubtful and insincere. Wading through chunks of email is one of the biggest problems for those who depend on email for their communication needs. One may not be private while using the computer for emailing. To that extent, the secrecy is lost. In case the receiver is unable to open his email account as soon as a message is received, the message cannot work for him. Hope you've understood about the email advantages and disadvantages. Moving on to the third type of modern techniques of communication is video conferencing. This mode of communication begins in teleconferencing. A number of telephones are simultaneously connected to one another. Teleconferencing is a facility enabling people in different parts of the world to have an audio meeting, saving on transit time and hotel stay. It helps in thrashing out a variety of opinions on a subject to reach a faster conclusion. A further advance in this technology is computer teleconferencing. The participants can react to the messages and inputs for the other's knowledge. They may not even be present simultaneously for the computer teleconference, but add their contribution at their convenience. Video conferencing, however, is the closest it gets to seeing and hearing one another without being present together. The technologies used in video conferencing are monitor screen, camera, equipment control pad at each location, codec, that is compressor, decompressor, and internet connectivity. With the passage of time, this is becoming more popular and easier to use. You often see it in TV interviews. The entire proceedings can be recorded on videotapes. What are the advantages? It's time saving, cost and energy is saved, and traveling time is also saved. No monotony, no fatigue. Helps in very quick decision making. Thus, video conferencing may sound very complicated, but actually it is not so. It is very simple to operate, as anyone who can handle the remote control of a television set can master the technique of video conferencing. Hope you've got the gist of this topic. I'll sum up here with a very meaningful quote by Bill Gates, co-founder, Microsoft Corporation. I am not in competition with anyone, but myself. My goal is to improve myself continuously. I repeat, I am not in competition with anyone but myself. My goal is to improve myself continuously. Hope to connect with you in my upcoming module on international communication for global business. Till then, read some of the suggested readings, and yes, keep improving. Thank you.